Hi everyone! Today I'm here with my 2017 reading wrap-up, but I'm going to start with my November and December wrap-up because I didn't do the videos for that, but it is simply because I didn't read a lot. I fell into a reading slump, so in November I only managed to finish Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling, which is obviously a reread for me. And obviously I gave this book 5 stars because it's Harry Potter, one of my favourite things in the world. So I started reading a lot of books in the month of November or before then. I haven't finished them. One of the books I DNF'd, and that was the book that I got for a review, and that was called The King of Average by Gary Schwartz, I believe. It was a children's book, middle grade book. I thought I would enjoy it because it sounded really good about the boy who came into a kingdom of average and he was supposed to be a king there, and there were a lot of adventures there, but for my liking it was a little bit too weird, too childish. But I think that a lot of children would like this book because it did have a lot of adventures and a lot of interesting characters. It would keep you going if you were interested enough in it, but I don't think that many adults will enjoy this book, to be honest, because normally I do love children's books. I think they're so much fun, they're so enjoyable, but this one just wasn't for me, so I couldn't even get through the whole book, even though it was a very short book. But I just couldn't power through it, so I just DNF'd it. There are several other books that I DNF'd, one of them being an audiobook of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle. That was another reread for me. I stopped listening to that audiobook and never continued, and I don't think I will again. Maybe at some point in the future, but not quite yet. Another book that I DNF'd was The Archived by V.E. Schwab. I was buddy reading it with Kelsey from The Hardback Haven. I apologize, Kelsey, that I didn't finish that book, but I was struggling with it. It wasn't gripping me from the very beginning. It wasn't that interesting, even though I thought that the concept was really interesting and I thought I would enjoy it a lot. But no, she struggled with it as well, but then she finished it and she said that it was much better towards the end, but I just couldn't get through it, and obviously my slump didn't help in the slightest way. So I just decided to not finish it because there were a lot of books on my currently reading pile, considering I was in a slump, still kind of am. So I just decided to get rid of it and not finish it. Same thing with the book called The Watchmaker of Filigree Street by Natasha Pullman. That was an interesting book. It was set in the 19th century London. It was a really cozy and interesting book. I would love to finish it, to be honest, at some point in the future, but it was a library book and I didn't read it, so I thought I'd just give it back, and then at some point, if I want to continue reading it, I'll just borrow it again and read it, because it was really interesting. At the point that I think I read about 50 or so pages and just decided to stop for the same reason, because of my slump, obviously. And there are 2 other books that I am in the middle of, but in fact I haven't touched them for a good couple of months. So the first one is The Historical Guide about Great Britain. I am not even halfway through the book. I am loving this book. It's just, I am in a reading slump, and although it's very easy to read because it's very interesting and it is in Russian, which helps me a lot because it's my native language, and things are obviously much easier to read in Russian for me than it is in English. But I will finish this book one day for sure because I'm so interested in it, and it's just very engaging. Another book that I'm ashamed to say that I haven't finished it yet. I started it in September, and it is Strange the Dream of Eleni Taylor. Lovely Unicorn gave it to me for my birthday, and I was so happy about it, and I'm loving this book. I honestly am loving it. I think it's just wonderful. I'm halfway through, but I haven't touched it again for a good couple of months, but I really look forward to continue reading this book, and I'll definitely finish it, I promise. So in total, in the year of 2017, I read 52 books, and my goal on Goodreads was 45 because I thought I moved to the UK and I would be very busy, wouldn't have much time, plus most of the books would be in English and that would slow me down a lot, which I think kind of happened anyway. And yeah, I still managed to read a bit more than I thought I would, which I'm really happy with. But then when I started working, it slowed down so much. I'm not exactly sure why. Hopefully I'll come back to reading at some point soon. So yeah. I also started 6 books during the year of 2017, but DNF'd them, so it was 6 DNFs. For different reasons. I didn't like the books, or again, because of my slump towards the end of the year. 3 books are for the same reason. It doesn't mean that they were bad books, it just weren't for me. One of them was a Russian book about Slavic people. It was set very much in the past. It was kind of interesting but kind of boring, so I couldn't even keep reading it. The other book was The House of Bells by Charles Brinkley, but it was supposed to be a horror book, and I was reading it up until 100 or so pages and nothing happened yet, and I was so bored I decided not to just continue on with it. Another DNF was H.G. Wells' In the Days of the Comet, and that's not because I didn't enjoy it, it's just because I was listening to it as an audiobook, and at that point I felt like I didn't want to listen to any book at all, and I decided not to finish it, and I was just at the beginning of the book, so there was nothing wrong with the book. I might have enjoyed it if I finished it, but I just couldn't read it, couldn't listen to it anymore. I am also really disappointed that again this year I didn't discover any 5-star books apart from Harry Potter rereads and Sherlock Holmes, and another book, a Russian one, which I'm going to mention in my next video, which is going to be my favorite books of 2017. But yeah, I didn't give a single book 5 stars. I always struggle with it for some reason. There are never books that I absolutely love. There were some close ones that I gave 4 stars to, but then at the end it was not good enough for 5 stars. I don't know why I'm so picky about everything, but hopefully next year it will change. That's my goal, to find some 5-star books. I'm really hoping that that's going to happen. I'm not setting any goals for myself in terms of reading for next year, for 2018. I might set myself a goal on Goodreads again of maybe 50 books, or 45 again, or 40. I haven't quite decided yet, to be honest. I don't really like setting goals on myself because it makes me just not want to do them, feel pressured or something, so I'm not going to do any of that. But like I said, I'm hoping to find at least 3 5-star books in the year of 2018. That's everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. Please let me know in the comments down below how many books you've read in the year of 2017. I would love to know. It doesn't really matter how many books you've read. It's not about the quality. It's not about the quantity, obviously. It is about the quality. And some books were good that I read, some books were not as good, some books were average. So anyway, thank you for watching. Bye!